So we're live once again. We had a little break there again, Nick. A little week break.
Blame me for that one.
I do blame you, actually. So Bucks and Brews back on the air. We're joined this week by James Lowry. Jim and I are drinking the same thing, basically. We're drinking Arizona teas. I have a green tea right here.
Yep, and I have a light Arnold Palmer in the Saugatuck brewing glass.
I am drinking Bud Lite because we are Bucks and Brews, and I'm going to drink a brew when I talk about money. Tend to give more knowledge when I'm drinking than I do when I don't. Don't ask me how that works. It kind of works out for us.
It does.
It works.
So we're going to talk tonight about sign-on bonuses, retention bonuses, referral bonuses. That's why Jim's going to join us, because he has specific thoughts, and I always love specific thoughts.
I have general and vague thoughts as well. A lot of those.
That's helpful too.
I'm glad you guys think. I try not to do that.
I do have some news for Nick that I think is exciting, and I'm sure he will too. So I got a message last night from Vanessa, Nick.
Yeah, we've had her on a couple times.
Yeah, and she's doing great with her debt plan.
Yeah.
So her daughter is looking for new housing. So she got a hold of me. Her daughter lives in Texas. Wanted to run it by me. So here's the scenario. Credit's down because of the pandemic. So, she didn't have the ability to make all of her credit card payments on time, so it took a hit. For Christmas last year, her boyfriend got her a puppy. I believe it's a German Shepherd.
Okay.
So it's not going to be a tiny puppy. And they're quickly outgrowing the apartment they live in.
Sure.
So she's been looking since June for a house to rent.
3 months, yeah.
Yeah. And at this point, no houses to rent. Not that it'll take a dog.
What part of Texas?
I don't know.
Okay.
I can tell you in a second here.
No, you're fine.
Tyler,
Texas.
I don't know where that is either.
Does it look like this? Can I describe it on a hand map?
No, that's just for Michigan.
Oh, okay.
So she kind of told me what her daughter was thinking. Now, there's an opportunity to rent from one of the mobile home parks down there. And we have that option here at a few. Nick has a wonderful look on his face because he's thinking this is as good of an idea as what I did last night. So, 2-bedroom, 2-bath, 960 square feet.
Mobile home, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It lists at $50,790 because it's not for rent, it's for sale. They don't have any rentals.
60,000, okay.
50.
57?
51.
Okay, 51.
50,790.
Gotcha. Okay.
So with mortgage and lot rent, $1,115 a month. Yep. So
Some lot rent.
They're pre-approved, $2,400 down. Lot rent's $500. Does not know the terms of the
loan.
The note, yeah, and it's at 8.9%.
Oh.
So glad you're sharing this with me.
So of course I'm sitting there going, no.
Yeah.
Find something else. Find a different apartment. Do something. You're gonna have to stick it out a year.
I don't want a single land contract above 6%.
So
that's a bad used car loan.
it really is.
Oh, I mean, I know plenty of people with 25% interest. But that's a mediocre car loan, okay?
I basically gave Vanessa my feelings, which was, God, no, please don't.
You're buying a depreciating
Yeah,
asset
It's worse than a car.
on top of a high interest. Like, oh, baby. All right.
So they've already put in a 60-day notice on their apartment.
Oh.
And the place won't let them back out of it.
Of course not.
So I said, well, she may be locked into a corner here. She may be screwed.
She can find something else within that time.
I said, if it was me, I'm renting a different apartment. Find a different apartment that takes dogs. Yeah, it's not big enough for the puppy, but sacrifices need to be made.
Yeah.
I got a message from Vanessa this morning. You're going to like this. Her daughter just texted her. She went to work today. She works at a country club.
I'm coming down to golf. I'm going to give this girl some knowledge and trade for golf.
She was
I'll
talking.
be on my way.
She was talking to one of the regular members that comes in, and he owns rentals.
Imagine that. A guy that has time to golf.
And he has a duplex opening up, and he's going to rent it to her for $930 a month.
I don't know what the values are down there and what things are. I mean, sure, she's going to save money. She's not, I mean, you're taking an opportunity, right, for $200 to we call it a depreciating asset of a mobile home, but to get financing, it means it has to be newer, right? Because it can't be an older mobile home.
But still, I mean, with 960 square feet, we're talking probably a single wide.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, but still, just remember that guy comes into her job every day.
Yep.
Or however often he comes in.
But still,
it's a tough one.
I think it's a better option than.
It's a better option, yes.
Yeah.
Right.
So at least she found an option.
Yeah. That's
the least worst of the options. Right?
Yes. Yes, it's the least bad option there is.
Yeah. That's Now, if she was smart, right, she'd start talking to that guy constantly and, getting knowledge and figuring out, hey, instead of renting, why don't I purchase this thing from you?
That hopefully she's going to start listening to us, and maybe she'll listen to this episode and listen to what Nick says.
Say, right? I mean, everybody asks me all the time, would you sell your whole portfolio, right? And hell yes, I would. Right?
You threatened to a few weeks back.
I threaten the whole time. I mean, like, dude, if you make me an offer that I'm comfortable with, right? Like, I mean, there's like, I value one house at like $1, right? Like at times, it's like, dude, I'm going through whatever. If you just take it, like, cool. And
would that be the house you live in?
Yes. And then, like, I don't know, there's somewhere like it makes me good money, and it's like, man, you'd have to double pay me for that because like I have no problems and stuff like that. But
right.
It's just all a turn. But I mean, she should think about maybe trying to do something like that, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Especially, I mean, if she has $2,400 to put down on the place, that's still a down payment on a land contract. So
well, I think eventually, the hope is she gets the credit fixed and figures something out. But I think if I'm remembering my numbers correctly, Vanessa said the credit score's around like 560.
But still, that's what I was saying, land contract instead of you have to worry about credit on a land contract, right? I mean, you can get a personal guarantee, which, I mean, I have those on a few, which is hilarious to me, right? Like, I can technically personal guarantee everything that I own, which, I mean, right, I do, like a mortgage. Yep. And my land contracts, some of them will make me personal guarantee. And it's like, when you look at the amount of debt, like, no matter what, I if I don't pay it, like, I'm just broke as shit anyway. Good luck, you know what I'm saying? But no, I congrats on saving, a couple $100 and finding a place. And I don't know I guess the hard part is I don't know what she's paying right now.
What she was paying was within a couple $100.
That's a lot of money.
I honestly want to say she was around 8-ish.
Okay, so 100 something, yeah. I mean, that's not horrible.
No. But I mean, all things considered, considering they stuck themselves in I got to move.
Well, yeah, I mean, and if you think about it, if you listen to this episode, we're going to teach you how to get a sign-on bonus.
Or not. Get a sign-on bonus.
Come on, dude. Sign-on bonuses are the greatest thing. You got to work there for 90 days and then a big old F you to the person, right? That's what I would do. I mean, I'm just like, it's like credit cards, right? Like, sign up and get $500, if you spend whatever, or just for free for opening an account. I'm just going to go start. That's what I think I'm going to start doing. Is like, just going to work for these jobs for like 90 days at a time. They're going to be like, here's your oh, you're a good employee, or they'll say you're a crappy employee, and they'll hand me my $1,000, $2,000, $2,500, whatever it is, and I'll just be like, dude, it was awesome working for you. I finally got what I was worth right here at the end, and you've proved it. I'm out, right? Like,
and go to another one.
Right, you're not going to pay me what I'm worth because you would one time, but you won't pay me the whole time. Yeah, I'm out. Like, see, I got to go. This other company just offered me $2,500 sign-on bonus.
So I guess that brings us to the crux of what we're talking about tonight is a sign-on bonus worth it?
Yes. God dang it, yes.
Yeah, if you're hopping jobs every 3 months, it's worth it.
Yeah.
But for people like me or Jim who don't really want to hop jobs.
Want and should are two different things.
I get paid good money where I work. I'm not hopping for couple grand.
Well, I think that's kind of,
You
that's
can do it
part
for
of the
a couple
dynamic of
years.
what we want to talk about, right?
Yeah.
With the sign-on bonuses. I mean, if you look at the history of these things, they're, they've been used pretty heavily in sports, and I think the reason for that typically is you're signing athletes that are coming out of college, oftentimes, not always, but oftentimes, and it's to get some money in their pockets up front, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because they haven't been, in some cases, a lot of even big name college athletes kind of struggle while they're in school, and so it's done for that reason. Also, these types of sign on and retention bonuses and things have been used for corporate executives, right, to make sure that they're going to stick around at least long enough to get the a company stock price to where the board of directors wants it to be. It's a really interesting dynamic to see these now being used for jobs that are much more portable, right? And you think about that, people who are under contract, like corporate executives and sports figures and stuff, they really don't have portable jobs. So the retention aspect of it is one of the things I think we really need to think about, right? And I agree, Nick, that I think you're right. There's a lot of there's a lot of factors that go into having say a $25,000 sign-on bonus for somebody that's making $250,000 a year versus a $500 or $1,000 sign-on bonus for somebody that's making 15 or 20 bucks an hour.
Right.
And in a job that's very portable, especially in this economy, right? So I think the idea, the value that companies get from doing this is not what they think it is, and that's one of the things I think that this may be an opportunity. We kind of had a lot of talk lately about coming through the pandemic and hopefully at some point truly coming out of it. Is there going to be sort of a workers' revolution, right? Because the situation of the economy has driven a lot of wages up. It's caused a lot of unemployment. It's caused a duality of unemployment and a lot of job openings. So companies are desperate. They're desperate, and they think that this is a way because maybe it's something that they've heard about. Other companies have used for their senior management and their executives. Maybe they've heard about this as being something that other companies have used for the lower skill, lower wage jobs. But I think it's really going to backfire for a lot of these places.
Well, and the way I look at it is I want constant cash flow, which, when the three of us are talking, we know, hey, it's great. I got $500,000, for working 90 days. Awesome. What are you going to do for me for the rest of the year?
Exactly.
And that's what people are losing sight of. So instead of that, pay me $1 or $2 an hour more so that I have the ability to make that money the entire year long, and then my raises will be better. And hold that thought for a second, Nick. So I saw a story yesterday, a catering company in the South that decided to pay all of their workers $2 more per hour. So they gave them just a $2 bump.
Sure.
And it increased their prices $12 per catering thing.
Sure.
And
$12 total or $12
per assignment, I guess.
Per person per gig.
Yeah.
Oh wow,
Perfect.
that's a big jump.
So they ended up booking more appointments than they ever had. They had more applicants than they've ever had, and their workers are happier than they've ever been.
For how long?
Well,
That's
that's the question. But again, I mean, when you're valued,
sure,
you're willing to do these things.
Yeah. Well, that's as I was going to say, one thing, as much as Gentex and I are not on the same page of things, right? And as much as I troll their Facebook page, when you get a bonus, man, like that was huge, right? I was getting, higher bonuses, and it was funny because there's always talks, right? When you work for a company, there's always talks of bonuses getting taken away, and people would be like, "Oh man, when that happens, I quit" or whatever. And like looking back at it, I was one that said, "Dude, if bonuses go away, I'm done." Right? Like it's not worth it to me. Even if they gave me the $1 an hour raise or whatever, right? Technically, my bonus added up to like a couple bucks an hour, right? Because I knew they wouldn't give me fair, right? it was going to be a much smaller chunk of it, and I could probably say honestly, like if it would have happened, I would have quit. Like I would have been like, nope, hey, thanks, this isn't working out for me. You've officially proven that that you don't value me. You don't want me to be part of the company in the family aspect, right? Like bonuses, it's based off of sales, right? And it's based off of everything, your profits. So,
Revenue, profit. Yeah.
yeah.
Well,
So
and I would say I think Gentex is different than a lot of companies out there.
Yeah.
I have a lot of friends. They don't get very many bonuses.
yeah.
Mhm.
I if I'm lucky, we get a bonus every year, but it's a big company, so it amounts to somewhere between $200 and $500 usually.
Sure.
They'll put money into our retirement.
Yep.
Which is great.
Huge.
Yeah.
I mean, it's huge, but you never see it.
Right.
Like for
So for
instant
me and you, we're
gratification.
sitting there going, "That's awesome."
that's big.
For the normal person that is working every day, they're going, "Well, I don't see that in my check. I don't care."
Let me say, my mom, my whole family worked at Steelcase, right? I mean,
Mhm.
I worked there. We talked about it a couple times. I remember when my mom had bonuses, right? I guess as younger, she was excited to get bonuses. She could take us kids out to do things,
Yep.
and then they got rid of bonuses, and it was just you're just stressed the whole entire time, and life is just different. So, I like bonuses. Sign-on bonuses is way different, right? It's
Yeah.
a one-time thing,
Just to get you in the door.
and then and again, you're gonna go, all right, cool. I've been here right when you get that, so you've been there 90 days. And the first 90 days, if you can do it that long, you're gonna do it. But then you get that, and you're like, all right, this is great. So that lasts you like another 90 days, maybe up to a full year, right? And you get your raise at the year mark, and you're like, okay, wait, I only got a quarter, right? Like I didn't get, wait, I got 2,500 for being here for 90, and I've been here a year, and now you've given me a quarter, or like, time out, something ain't right here. But most people don't look at it that way. They're like, no, at least I got something. I could have got nothing, and I'm like, no, that's not how this works. I mean, you're a valued asset, right?
Especially when you look at things like inflation being high right now as well,
Oh,
and
yeah.
stuff like that, right? So I do want to take a little bit of exception with this term signing bonus in terms of how some companies use it, right? Because I would say a signing bonus is the day you start, you're getting paid, or the day you make a commitment, right?
Sure.
They're giving you something. Whereas really, if you have to stick around for 30 days or 90 days or whatever, that really also is more of a retention bonus. And what I'm starting to see some companies do, in my business, I'm a technology consultant, and bonuses are part of it's part of our pay. We get quarterly bonuses or semi-annual, or sometimes some firms even do just annual bonuses. It's based on our contribution to revenue, typically, and sales and stuff like that, right? So that's really more of like a traditional type of a bonus, even though we might get it, on a different time scale or whatever.
Sure.
And so what I'm starting to see now is some companies, including a firm that I was working with earlier this year. And so, full disclosure, for various reasons, really outside of my control, I've been in the job market 4 times in the last year.
Really?
Yep. I left one firm to go to a technology vendor. They rescinded their offer, actually, so I went to another firm, which got bought by a company that I swore I would never do business with. So now I'm with another firm.
Sure.
And in each of those cases, I've been in the market as an employee, but I've also probably been involved in making 20 or 25 offers during in the past, say, maybe not calendar year, but certainly in the past 12 months. And one of the things I've seen sort of evolving quickly is kind of the idea of combining signing bonuses and retention bonuses.
Sure.
And so I think that, and I think that's if the economy, if the labor market doesn't start to stabilize pretty soon, I think you start seeing companies say, okay, we'll give you, and maybe it's a token amount at first, 100 or 500, but every so often we're going to give you a retention bonus.
Yeah. So
And that really does become part of your annual compensation then.
Gentex did it just for a one-time thing.
Mm-hmm.
So I had left already. Like I had been fired. I have to be clear about that. My friend, it's right about this time, like last year, right? So the holidays here, and people always take that extended weekend.
Yep.
Gentex came out and said, hey, if you don't take time off, if you don't use vacation day, if you show up to work, you don't miss a single day, you're not late, you don't do whatever, we'll give you $500, right? And it was, I don't remember the exact total, but it was 7 weeks or something, right? And so if you miss one day, they brought you down to like $100 or something, right? And if you miss 2, you're just done. And my buddy's like, man, I thought about not going on vacation. And like, that was like a huge thing for me, like just being out of this. And I was like, God, you're so effing broke. Like, you poor piece of crap. Like, I don't try to be that way to people, but I was like, dude, you're willing to give up your amazing, fun time of life. You're willing to give up what you're working for to work for a company for a small amount of money. I mean, dude, it's no disrespect to people, but right now, I mean, if I handed you $500, what would you do with it, right? Like, you would put it in the bank, or you might go buy dinner and go, okay, cool. Like that $500 is just gonna grow at no interest. But man, if $500 one time means that much,
7 weeks is 280 hours.
Yeah, right. It's just,
you're talking like 60 cents.
Yeah,
an hour.
Yeah, it was nothing, right? But I mean, and so they did it the one time, and it was like, man, just because they kept having too many people like call in, and Gentex has what I assume most companies have, like a 10-point system, right? So if you get written up, depending on like the scale, but if you're late, hey, that's a point. So if you're late or miss days when you don't have any vacation time, after 10 points, you're gone. I mean, I remember somebody having 18 points, right? Like, no, at 10 you're supposed to be fired, but and that's the thing. I think that I'm not a lawyer, but I would love to be one.
Mm-hmm.
I'm watching this show Suits. If you guys haven't seen it, go watch it. The first 3 episodes, I could have binge watched the shit out of this last night. Anyway, but all I'm saying is, right, like, I feel like that's a way to sue somebody, because like, if I got fired at 10 points and somebody's still there for 18, granted they've been there longer, whatever, like, I would lose my shit. Like, oh no, like, you've been looking for a reason, and you had one, and now here it is. Like, you have to stick to what you're doing.
Consistent in your policy.
Well, I mean, Jim's wife Wendy and my wife Dawn both used to work shift.
Mm-hmm.
And for those of you that don't have shift, you go shopping at a local store and buy all the groceries for this person.
It's a grocery delivery service.
Right. So that was way better than what I said. So they would do bonuses. Like, if you did 13 shops on a Sunday, they'd give you $100.
Yeah.
And Dawn would always sit there and do the math and go, that's not worth it to me. We're talking $7 per shop, and I got to work 15 hours to get 13 shops done unless I'm doing a bunch of doubles. Yeah. And most of the people never looked at it that way. They looked at it as saying, oh, I get more money.
Right.
Well, and we're not knocking on people for going to and it's funny because on two sides of it, right? We always constantly talk about hustle, and people forget that there's a way to hustle, mm-hmm. right? Like, no, man, I'm out here grinding, I'm hustling, I got this extra $100, like, I'm doing this, and it's like, even like, look at Vanessa, right? She's like, hey, if I do this many more, I get this. If I do this, I get this, extra or whatever, and it's like, that's awesome, right? As long as you have it set up, and she did. She had her life set up to where it's like, it didn't impact her family, her time to be with family and do all these things. But I mean, if we're talking $7, like, we have the time and the ability to sit here and do math and go, nah, dog, I'm good. Like, I'm be over here drinking Bud Light. You know what? Like,
well, and I mean, it's one thing if you got to give up, a few hours to get that $100.
To give up a 13-hour day.
Yeah, to work a 13-hour day for an extra $100. That math doesn't add up to me. I'm not doing that.
No.
I mean, that's the Bill Gates story of he's not bending over for a $100 bill.
That's what we talk about the penny,
right?
Like, I'm not saying I make a penny an hour. I don't even know what it is, but like, I personally am not stopping to pick up a penny that I walk by. I usually walk by and go, man, I really hope some kid picks that up and starts doing financially successful, right? Like, in my mind, I constantly I'm gonna leave that there for the next person, so that way they can get to that next spot.
And who's the next person?
And it's usually you, right?
It usually is.
Like, there's times where I'll walk and they would be like, oh man, I saw it, and I was like, you think my ass is gonna bend over and get that? Dude, it's all yours. I'll grab a 20.
See, now, if the penny is an issue to pick up, like, let's say it's glued down, I'm not working for that.
Yeah.
That's not worth it to me. If a $20 bill's glued down, I might work for that one. If it's a matter of just picking it up, I'm picking it up.
Yeah. No, I think it's a sucker's way to get people into the door, right? I mean,
I think so. I think from the company's perspective, I think that their hope or their strategy is that they're going to get people in the door. They're going to see maybe this is a good company to work for or whatever, or maybe their average retention is 42 days or something, and they want people to stick around for 60 or 90 days.
Yeah.
I just think that the sort of, I guess, the logic behind it in some cases, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense, right? Like you said, pay them more per hour, right? I think a lot of people would appreciate that, just having a higher base pay. The other thing that I think in some cases it might be useful if, I've got two offers on the table. They're both, $16, $20 an hour. They're both, they're both the same amount. Oh, and this company's offering a signing bonus. Maybe I'll, similar work. Maybe I'll consider that. So it can be kind of a sort of an incremental competitive advantage for the company, but for the worker, yeah, I think that you could easily, especially again for those types of jobs where you can easily switch from company to company or even industry to industry. There's not much of an incentive to stick around in the long term if the reason that you're there is for the money.
For that, yeah.
Especially if it's just a signing bonus. So this idea of using these retention bonuses that you get periodically, that might be something that would be more fair to the employees and to the employer.
Well, we kind of hit on it last week. We were talking about how your 5-year, right? What do you get? You get like a $5 value or less, and 10-year you get $15 or whatever. Real quick, I want to what are 3 things that you look for in a company when applying?
Well, compensation, of course.
Yep.
In my business, I look for its culture and really based around how much travel is expected.
Okay.
Right. And sort of how I fit in. Right. Do I fit into the culture? Am I going to be an outsider? Am I going to be constantly questioned, or are people going to listen and kind of make a contribution? Right.
Now, so I'm going to come to you on the same question. So think about yours, but let me. So, do you like to travel?
I do, but not. It got old quickly, right?
So right, which is really really fun to me because I want to. So compensation, right? I mean, you work a job for money. We all agree upon that, right? Like, you don't do it because you. There's 1% in this world that do it because they love it, right? The rest of us do it because because we need to live and we want to have the.
We want to do things we love.
Right. So number 2. Travel. We already kind of talked about that. You don't really want to. And number 3, the culture. I guess why do you care if you fit in? Like, what does that do for you? I guess.
Well, just it reduces anxiety. So it's one of those things where if you're constantly, and I'll give you an example. I used to work in politics, right? And it was really, and I got out.
Dumbass.
I decided to get out the day that I realized I was spending more time fighting people that were supposed to be on my side than I was actually winning elections, right?
Sure.
So I spent more time fighting my own party than I did the other party.
Sure.
And so and I've been very conscious of that since then. It's one of those things where if someone feels threatened by you in a company, they can make your life hell.
Oh,
right? So those are the kinds of things I'm talking about in terms of the culture, right? So, if it's collaborative, if it's a fun place to work, I'm going to much more likely to stick around than if it's if it's like going to the rock pile every day, right?
Yeah. No, I think what's really fun. So. If you guys can't see, Jim has a little bit of saltiness in his hair. Right? What I'm trying to say is he's been there, he's done it, right? Like when I was younger, like it was just shut your mouth and do the damn job, and like it sucks. But like I'm probably older, maturity-wise, like in a job aspect, than most people because I've built something. But it's funny how different you are from my brother. My brother's 5 years older than me, and his question is like, how often do I get to travel? And if it's like very small, he's like, dude, I want out of here. Like he makes so much more traveling. Like he doesn't have a family. Sure. Right. Like he's there for the money and this is what it is. And like it's great. Right. The culture, right. He's very, and it's funny, I think, because we're all really kind of about that culture. Especially in my world, like I want to be around people that don't question me. I mean, I want you to teach me, not question me, right? Like, sure. But him, right? He's an electrician, fiber optics and stuff like that. And so he's like, he does not work well with others, like at all, right? I mean, him and we can work really good together for a short period of time. Like if it's a day that we have to work together, we will do great. If I have to work with him 2 days in a row, we won't talk to each other, right? Like hey, hand me that wrench. Here it comes, right? Like. It's just game over. But no, I think that's great. David, 3 things I guess that you look for in a company.
Well, compensation's obviously the first.
Sure.
Probably the second is the work-life balance.
Yeah.
Because it's important for me to be able to do the things I want to do.
Yeah.
during softball season, I'm out by 2. That's not negotiable. I'm out.
Yeah.
If you need me, too damn bad.
I'll be on the ball field.
Yeah. Don't call me.
We can talk when we're done. Yeah,
right. And then the third one is probably a combination between location and culture.
Sure.
I've come to enjoy working from home these last 10 years.
Yeah.
Which tomorrow will be the 19th year I've been a Priority Health.
Good for you.
I don't want to go back into an office ever.
Right.
That's just not happening. So, I mean, if they came to me and said, hey, your job is no longer work from home, I'd be like, hey, it's been great working here. I'm out.
Yeah. No, and I think that's, we talked about the compensation. I think that's key. Work-life balance, right? Especially with the amount of stuff that you do, right? And, I think that for me, that's, again, right up there because one of the things I walked into a job, hey, how much time do I get off?
Yep.
Why? Well, you get 2 weeks. You get, like, I'm going to need like 5, right? Like, well, we don't get that until 20 years. No, your other people don't get that until that. You want me? This is what I need, right? Like, I will be here every single day. Besides that, otherwise I get, this is what I like using my demands, right? Because I have things in my life that I want to go do. My wife just texted me today, actually, which is really fun. Big congrats to me. Shout out, awesome. I'm great. She texted me telling me that she gets the week off before Christmas, right? So, like the 17th through like the 26th or whatever. And so I was like, Mexico, a cruise? I don't know. We're not going to be here. Yeah. That's all I know, right? I will have my flight be back probably Christmas Eve because she doesn't want to push it to come towards Christmas. And we'll be back in time, right? But otherwise, I guarantee I'm gone. And the freedom I have, like, once I got that freedom, holy crap, I don't want to give,
That's a huge benefit.
Yeah,
right?
I was talking to my mentor the other day because I was going to buy a pretty substantial purchase from him. And we sat for lunch and stuff. And he's like, do you see yourself doing this for, 20 more years or whatever? And I was like, yeah, there's nothing else I could really go out and do. He goes, no, you could. He goes, you can go back to a 9 to 5. And I was like, you're absolutely correct. But like, the feeling. Once you have that freedom, you're like, holy crap, it's way different, right?
Well, that was Dawn when she had to when she left VW and had to get another job, she had a hard time working 9 to 5. She just hated it.
Yeah.
And then she went and did shift. She's like, I'm out of here. I'm going to go do something else. And she did shift for a couple of weeks while she was interviewing other places. And she basically said to me, I can make more money doing this than I can working 9 to 5. And I set my own damn hours. Mm-hmm. So I'm done.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I'm like, okay, that's great. Now that she's open to business, she's like, I never wanted to work a job where I had to work on the weekend.
Yeah.
And now she works every damn weekend, but she likes what she does, so she doesn't mind working every weekend.
Sure. And say I know that you guys are going to be going on vacation soon, right? So like it's hard earned, and yeah, like when you're a business owner, right, you work your butt off to get to where you want to be.
Oh, hell yeah. Well, and like, so I know somebody that has recently interviewed for a job and taken a job.
Yep.
Which we can talk about off the air.
Yeah.
But this person, I asked them, I said, so you want benefits? What are the benefits they offer? And her answer to me was, I don't know, benefits.
Yes. My favorite.
I said, all right, well, tell me this. Do they have a retirement? Well, they have profit sharing. Okay. Do they also have a 401k? No.
Oh.
Okay. I said, what's the time off like? She goes, I don't know. So I start researching into the company. Yeah, they have a 401k. They also have a 401k match.
Yeah.
They also have profit sharing.
Oh, that's so frustrating.
And I'm sitting there the whole time going, why don't you ask these questions? And she goes, well, it's not that important to me because my job doesn't have anything.
That is correct, right?
And of course, I tell her the story. I said, Nick's talking to a recruiter and lists out the things that are important to him. What's my time off?
Yeah.
What's the 401k match? And the recruiter goes, I wouldn't ask them any of those questions. And Nick's answer is, then they don't fucking want me because those are the only questions I give a shit about.
Yeah. I care about me, right? You care about you and your company growing. You don't care about me. I know that. Like, yes, there are some companies out there that care, and but when it comes to a general warehouse / factory, like it's not, right? You're replaceable. You're expendable. I have a quick story. I see you want to say. So, Taco Bell on 28th Street.
Yes.
We have an old third baseman that happens to work there.
We do.
Yeah. So it's funny to me, right? So I drive up to the window. Oh, what's up, Coach Nick? Hey, how's it going, kid? How's school? Oh, I had to drop. I had to do this. And oh, so this is what you're gonna do? And no, like me, like the smile comes. Now me and my friend want to do this, and I was like, right. So like I try to talk to people, like you get that passion to come out of them, and it's like I'm not gonna tell you to sit here and not do this, but make sure you stay focused. Make sure we talked about that with my niece. Like, I walked to she got a job at the ice cream shop. I walked up there and she'd probably only been there a little bit, and her boss is right behind her. And I was like, hey, you like it? Yeah. I go, good, quit. Right. And she looks at me and I was like, no. I was like, forget it. Go do what you want to do in life. Make sure you understand that this is what work really is. And yeah, it's fun for a little bit, but no, you need to go make yourself successful. You need to go live a dream beyond what you can fathom right now at this young age. I was very fortunate in life that I couldn't see it, but I understood it, right? Because I've watched other people kind of get there, and I met the right people at the right times. But man, I don't know. I mean, when you talk to in my head, right? When I talk to an old person, they're like, "Oh, I can't wait to retire. Like, I got this many years to retire." Like, you ask somebody, "Hey, how long do you have? Like, do you know how long you have to retirement?"
20 years, but
20 years. I mean, right?
I'm
Like,
not as old as you think I am.
well, I'm gonna assume 40, right? But I mean,
40,
yeah. So like, right, but like, these people, like, they have these. Hey, I have this many, 10 years, 20 years,
or like
Yeah.
17 years, 4 months.
Yes, right.
Yeah,
like,
yeah, they've got it
so
down
like
in a minute.
when you're doing that, like, that's not
No.
right. Like, you
Yeah.
shouldn't be busting your butt for that little
Right.
aspect. Like, people used to, and it's funny because everybody used to. Oh, hey, when are you gonna retire? 40. No, there ain't no way. There ain't no way. You're damn right there ain't no way. I did it at like 30. I was like, say, I remember being 28 years old and I made just as much inside as I did outside of Gentex, right?
Yeah.
I made it, right? And that day changed my life. I remember like doing the math and figuring out my things and going, if I get fired any one of these days, I don't care, right? And so like the retention that they would give me, that's where the bonuses actually like worked, right? And I think bonuses are retention aspects, but like, and if you're like, well, if you have it, why don't you quit? I actually enjoy warehousing, right? Which is stupid as it is. Like, I loved working my wife hated it. I loved working from 3 a.m. to 1 p.m., right? Like, I was out halfway through a normal person's day. Like, I lived my amazing life. Now my daughter, and like when I got out at 1, I was home by like 1:17, got my mower on the trailer, got my truck going, did a couple lawns, and I could still go pick up my kid from school. And I was like, this is like, I have my whole life structured and set up. Like, I can do all my real estate, I can do everything, and I'm still in bed by like 9:30, right? Like, I'm sitting at home enjoying my life. Like, no, I know. I say, as much as the hard feelings I have, I don't have any, because like they do try to take care of the employees. They just do it in a vindictive way, like right? Like, it's horrible. Hey, when I remember when I sat down at Gentex, right? Like, hey, how high up can I get? Where can I get in this company? You can get anywhere you want. You just got to earn it. All right, what's it take to earn it? Just work hard and blah, blah, blah. Okay, cool. So I work hard, and I'm like, hey, I'm going to go, nah, you got to have schooling. That's not the way they told me when I first hired. No. Like, no, that's not this. Well, no, everybody has to have a degree. No, like, do you know my value? Because I do, right? Like, I am an asset. I mean, the people I hire myself out to every now and then for some real estate stuff, like, they understand what my abilities are. They understand what my value is, right? I mean, he'll never watch it or whatever, right? But I have an investor out of a different state who is a very high net worth person who talks to me about my opinions and my knowledge and my everything, right? Like, my financials to him is like, here, and it's like, oh no, you get it, you understand it, yeah, this is where, and when he talks, it's like straight numbers and like, here, no, this is a good deal, this makes sense, this, yes, I completely agree, but now you have to like look at it from the ownership side. All right, so now if you own here at this really crappy area, you're gonna get these tenants, your turnover is gonna be this, like, let's talk real numbers. So your fake numbers on paper are fine, which we'll get into that on another real estate episode, I think, because like now I'm all heated up about it. But there's no there's no retention in real estate, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Sure.
I mean, it's not like I get to walk up to a tenant and be like, hey, I've got you here for a year. Go ahead and throw me an extra $1,000, right? Like, thanks, Nick, for keeping this roof over my head. No,
in fact, the other way around, right? You have to offer incentives to keep tenants, so you don't have to turn over the vacancy, right?
That's exactly it.
Yep.
So,
Well, I think you and I are both unique, and I think Jim has a lot of this in him too. When it comes to our value, we're Ric Flair.
all day, baby.
If people are going to ask me what I'm worth, I'm Ric Flair.
Yeah.
I'm the best. And there is not anybody better. When people ask about coaching, I'm the best coach. That's why everybody else pisses me off. Because they look at the teams I coach and they're like, man, he must suck.
Yep.
And now I'm in a position with a good school, with a good team, and I don't get those looks anymore.
Yeah. Well, and that's nothing against our players, right? But it just goes to show, like, this practice aspect, right? Like, the kids that you coach for now, they started out at 3 to 5 years old, whatever it would be. They played all the way through. The kids we got, right, where, oh man, hey, freshman 16, year, like, here we go. Like, you know what? I'm gonna, this guy seems like he's all right. Like, I'm gonna go hang out with my friend because my one other friend wants to do this, right? And it's like, all right, cool. Here, this is called a ball. This is called a bat, right? And you're reteaching these fundamentals. And there's nothing against it. Like, they weren't that bad, but like, we weren't out there winning national championships, right? We weren't sending kids to D1 schools because they didn't practice every single day. I mean, when we had them, right? They were there at practice. Like, we had
every day.
Like the kids when I coached bowling, right? I told them, I said, look, you can go to school and you're going to go to school for things, and it might not be bowling, but you know what? If it is bowling, like, here's what you're going to have to do. And I tell everybody, like, I started bowling at like 14 years old, right? I was a late bloomer compared to all my friends. My average went up 40 pins in one summer, and people were like, well, how'd you get better? I bowled 25 games a day, right? Like,
playing be there all day long.
But I loved being there, right? Yeah. Like, I got paid to be there sometimes. I mean, it was 7 days a week, 25 games minimum, right? I mean, there was times where I'd work and do whatever, but like, I put in the time, I put in the effort, I earned what I have. And I ended up getting a bowling scholarship, right? Like, I just had to do, if all my friends bowled 3 games from 5 years old till they were my age when I first started, I knew I had to bowl that same amount of games just in a shorter period of time.
Right.
And
well, I mean, that goes back to time value of money.
Mm-hmm.
You know what you need to do.
Yeah. Well, trust me, bowling made me plenty of money back when I was in my prime. Everybody wanted to beat the young, cocky kid. I wasn't cocky. I was weird. I played it very smooth.
Way smoother than we play businesses now.
That's a fact, right? Like, I'm straightforward to the point, and here we go, right?
And people will say we're dicks.
Yep.
They say it about all 3 of us because we're honest.
Do you get called a dick all the time?
Yeah.
Really?
Constantly.
Huh.
Because I am.
I said we've only met like 5 times, and I don't think I've ever heard you drop a swear word.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I mean, I tell people the story about Christy all the time. The first time she had to call me on the phone, she cried for an hour.
Yeah.
She was terrified.
Yeah.
We're great friends now.
No. Yeah.
But back then, I'm just some loud guy that screams. Okay, well, I don't know what to tell you. I'm great at what I do.
Yeah. I mean, I'm willing to teach if you're willing to learn, right?
Pretty much, yeah.
So.
And I mean,
the people who it's not universally true. The people who call me a dick are the people who don't know their jobs and fuck with my shit.
Yeah.
So then I dropped 2 of them.
I didn't,
right?
I'm so used to it, I didn't even catch it, and all of a sudden, to make sure, to me, it's normal language.
Yeah.
It's another side note. So I sent my wife. Everybody knows I'm a huge Gary Vee fan, right? Like, I own his shoes. It's great. He has this video come out, and a lady goes, "Why do you curse?" And he goes, "Because that's who I am, right? Like, that's who I feel." And she's like, "But you don't have to. It actually lowers your content." And he goes, "It lowers your content, and people don't listen to you because you're cursing." And he goes, "I don't give a fuck. Like, this is me. I'm here." And he goes, "Do I tell my employee I care about them? No, I say, I fucking care about you, right? Because it means something to me. Like, that passion comes out." And he's like, and it goes on, and he goes, "Yeah, your kids." And he goes, "Yeah, so me and Miss Smith are gonna have a conversation. Your kid has a real problem with swearing, and he goes, yeah, I don't fucking care, right? Like, and he's like, look, Miss Smith thought that if I got a D in science, my life was gonna end, and I was like, if I got a D, I passed. And he goes, she also thinks that dropping an F-bomb means you're gonna fail in life, and I'm over here saying, fuck it, I'm better off than her. Like, it's not a financial thing, but like, really, it's to me, cursing is like you're actually showing some type of care. You're a normal person. I do it all the time.
I do too.
And there's times where I will catch myself and I'll say, "Oh, my bad, sorry," like because I didn't intend it to be that way. But to me, it's that I actually mean something, right?
I had a very good friend tell me once. She goes, people that curse a lot have very low vocabulary.
Factual statement. He's dropping words over here.
I said
it's actually the opposite.
I said specifically, I said my vocabulary is better than yours, and you can fuck off.
Yeah.
People who, in fact, I was involved. I wasn't personally involved with them, but I was in school when there were some studies on this being done at Michigan back in the '90s.
Spartium.
Where they determined that people who curse regularly, as just as part of like not who do it like violently or anything like that, but just people who just can use
normal conversation.
Are more intelligent, have larger vocabulary, and are more creative.
Yeah,
I would say I'm creative. My vocabulary is nowhere near you guys.
Well,
I mean,
I've seen you type, so I know this.
Yeah, I get to like 4-letter words, and that's
Well, I'll say this: my dad didn't have the biggest vocabulary, but he could use the word "fuck" as every part of speech.
See, and that's exactly it.
So that's
smart guy, right?
Absolutely.
Let's say. So now, I guess we talked about sign-on bonuses. We hinted on the retention thing and kind of what it means. I think just be careful and run your numbers on what this is, right? Yeah. Like if you feel like you're getting screwed.
That's a good point about something I want to make. So when you know that thought, I want to.
No, you're fine. So that's kind of what I'm saying is like just run it and understand like, again, these other people won't watch it, and I don't care. I always say that, but like really, I don't care if they watch it because I'll tell it to their face, and I have told it to their face. We have a girl in the office that she's making smaller money, and she's like, I can go to McDonald's right now and make $15 an hour. And I said, cool, take your ass to fucking McDonald's. Yeah. I said, she's like, why? Why shouldn't I be making 15? And I was like, why? Because you just fucking left the other day to go get your fucking haircut, right? You left the other day, you went and got your nails done. You went out for lunch, didn't you? You were actually going to take off Friday to go to Cedar Point, but you realized that they didn't open until the next month. You were going to do, you were going to do this. You did this. Like, here's a list of 10 things of what you've done that no other company would ever let you. I call you on your cell phone. Guess what? No, that's guaranteed. That's not going to happen at McDonald's, right? Like, no, like when you're here, you're expected to work. You're expected to get the job done. You have, sure, is there going to be a couple moments of free time? But it's not when you want it, right? It's when they want you to have it. Right. Like that's called a break. That's called a lunch. That's called another break. Mm-hmm. Like, you show up late for work, like what you just did, today, right? No, you're going to get 10 of those, right? And then your ass is out the ground. Like you don't get to show up when you want. You don't get to leave. Oh, hey, I got to leave early for a doctor's appointment. I got to do this. Mm-hmm. Like the freedom that you get is worth some type of money, and you have to be the one that has to choose it. She went to Amazon, made $18-19 an hour, whatever the heck it was. It lasted a day. Yeah, was right back. Right. Yeah. Oh, I'm gonna be here full time. Cool, awesome, right? And granted, got a raise, whatever. But the fact is the benefits and I said, look, you're young and I get it, like the money, but like you have to realize like. Mm-hmm. Money is not everything. I mean, when we talk compensation, yes, it's a huge factor in our life. But dude, if you came to me, and it was funny, I made the joke today. My school, when I pick up my daughter, you go out there and there's a line of cars that can drive and pick up your kid, or you can get out and park and then hold a sign. So the principal comes over, and there's supposed to be a teacher, and he's taking photos of each sign, and then your kid gets sent out. And he's like, I'm supposed to have a teacher. I hear the bell ring. I'm supposed to have a teacher. I was like, dude, I'm for hire. Like, I'm here. Yeah. I'll work for an hour, right? Like $6. What's like, dude, I'll do it for $6. I'm friends with one of the other dads, and he's like, that's like a case of beer a week. And I was like, you got it, man. Like, I'm here already anyway. You want to pay me? Say, I'll run my background check. I'll do, here, just let me send these photos, dude. I'll be out here in the ice cold. I'm already wasting that time. and my daughter's not. It's not my daughter's waste, right?
But
that
time there
is
when
waste.
she's not around is
Right.
Yeah.
100%. Like, and the effed up part about where I live is there is a million not my wife's.
Yep.
Right. And I mean that. Okay. So here's what I mean by this. My wife is, if you're 30 minutes late, you're on time.
Oh, okay.
I am. If you're not 15 minutes early, you're late. Okay. So when you're in the driving lane, if you are not 30 minutes early, so she gets out at 3:30, let's say. If you're not there at 3 o'clock, the line is already wrapped around, so you're not going to get your kid for however long. So I always go stand, unless I show up early and I just talk business on my phone. But it just blows my mind the amount. And so now, if you show up at the time it is, you're waiting 45. So you might as well show up that 30 minutes to get that 15 extra back in life. And I'm fortunate that I can do a lot of business from my phone. And so I'll stand out there and just talk, and people look at me like I'm psycho because I'm constantly on my phone while waiting for my kid. And I'll usually pause or hang up my conversation. I will always, once my kid walks out the door, she is my life, and everybody that's on the phone knows that, right? You have to hold on a second. Hey, blah, blah, blah. And that's what it is. Like, she will have my undivided attention. She will know I'm here for her. This is why I'm picking her up. And then I'll be like, hey, Dad's on the phone. Boom, here it is, right back at it. So, but yeah, at that point, $6 an hour, dude, you got your man.
I mean, your time invested sunk anyway, right? Like you said, there's no opportunity cost.
And I know that I don't have to be there on the days that other people aren't there. Right? It's like, it's, to me, money isn't everything, right? Like, it's time is kind of becoming a thing.
Exactly.
When I was younger, I was the guy that worked 80 hours a week, and I still will and still would for the right stuff. Like, but no.
Well, I mean, it's what you do with your time. It's how you spend your time is what you do with your money, not how you spend your money, what you do with your time.
Correct.
Right? Yeah.
Well, I mean, I had a conversation with Caitlin the other day, and I said, I worked a lot of overtime in my life at Priority.
You did, dude. Like, this dude was beast.
During open enrollment, it was not shocking if I put it in an 80 or 90 hour week.
Yeah.
Because they're paying me for it. Yep. And I told her specifically, I said, listen, I got to do it from my house.
Yep.
So I didn't mind doing it. If they would have made me come into the office and put in those kind of hours, I'd have maxed at 50 and I would have gone home.
Yep.
Because I don't want to work that hard. And it's not that I'm not working hard at home.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's an hour out of my day to drive in and drive home and deal with people constantly.
Yeah.
Whereas I can just hyper focus at my house and do what I need to do.
Yep. Well, that was, so we talked about that on a couple episodes, like when I first started at Gentex, right? Like, I remember I didn't get written up. I got talked to / yelled at because I worked 65 hours, and anything after 60 was double time. No, we can't be doing that. Dude, this dude had one guy. There's not allowed to be one person in the building. I had to be the second. Like, you should be thanking me.
Yeah.
Instead, you're going, you just cost us, at the time I was making $10 an hour. You cost us, $100.
Yeah.
We're a multi-billion-dollar corporation. You're pissed about $100?
Yeah.
Like, man, go after yourself. So from then on, I worked 59 and a half hours, right? I never went over that. And I did that for a couple of years, and then, it went, and then it went down to 55, and then it went down to 50, and then by the end of it, I was working like 45, right? And I was like, because I want that overtime, because I like that little benefit, and because I'm always a fan of, if they offer overtime, I always base my life off of 40, but that extra, and I was the guy that invested it, right? And I'm not working there, so look where I am, because I invested that $100, whatever it ended up being, that $50 every week, and 50 times 52, right? I mean, we're looking at $2,500. Like, I mean, it just added up, and I remember when I first started, I said I wasn't going to spend a bonus, right? I promised myself, I was like, no, you know what? You're going to be that guy who goes out after 10 years. You're going to buy a brand new Dodge Viper with all your bonus money, right? I'm like, cool. That's what I'm going to do. Like, And so then, I get through it, and I was like, all right, I'm doing this. And I had enough money to go buy a Dodge Viper. I mean, I post it all the time. I'm going to look at a Dodge Viper. I'm going to look at a Dodge Viper. Every time I go look at them, every time I do whatever, I'm like, man, that's a down payment on a house. Like, I just can't do it. It's like I never could bring myself to do it. But I don't know. It's, to me, you have to work for something, right? And
exactly.
I'll work 90 days for that bonus, and then I'm out, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, I will work for the money.
Well, just as a corollary to that, though, and it's kind of alludes or looks back at a couple of things we were talking about earlier. It's amazing to me, especially in my line of business. I do software implementations for Oracle software, right? So it's all financial stuff. It's people who are accountants. Yeah, it's people who are accountants, it's people who are finance. And it amazes me how many people, even people that I work with and my clients and stuff like that, don't know what their compensation is.
Really?
Yep. Because some people aren't spend the time to figure it out. They don't know how exactly what their 401k match is. They don't know what the value of their benefits are. What the value of what they know what they're paying in for benefits, but they don't know what their company's paying in.
I guess I didn't know that, and I never looked into it because all that mattered to me was money out, not my company. Yep. But like when we talk about companies, one of the biggest things I had was because my dad always went through it. It was like, hey, you get 90 days, then you start getting benefits. And no, I always worked for a job where, hey, the day you get hired, or within 30, my goal was 30 days, right? Yeah. So 30 days.
Usually at the end of that month or beginning of the month.
Yeah, because I figure, hey, it takes them 30 days to write paperwork. I'll give them the excuse, right? But that's who I want to work for. The company that literally instantly invested in me, right? Sure. And I remember working at Gentex, I hit so many lucky bumps in my career, but they used to be, hey, you 1 year and then you can start investing in 401k. Yep. And I was probably 3 months in and they're like, yep, we're taking that away. You can instantly start investing, right? Mm-hmm. Because I don't know if it was they hired 15 of me who were like, dude, I want to invest in my 401k. But the people I worked with in the warehouse, the 15 of them, there was 3 of us. Sure. That invested in their 401k at all. Yep. Any money, right? I would beg people, dude, you're getting a raise here. Take it and put 3% in. You're comfortable. I was like, dude, are you comfortable making the money you make? Yeah. Yep, I am.
Put your raise into your 401k.
I was like, dude, you're fine. You're making your bills. Yep. You'll never see the difference. Yes, okay, you have to wait 6 more months to see money in your account, but what are you gonna do with that $20? Nothing, right? If $20 means that much to you, bro, take a look at your life. And maybe I always said it like an asshole because that's probably the problem. But dude, if $20 means that much to you, you need to look at your life and realize that you're doing something wrong, right?
So you'll love this.
No, probably not.
You won't. So some of the girls I used to coach are playing slow pitch.
Yeah.
And one of them's Ashley.
Yeah.
And we go out, get a couple drinks and dinner one night after the game.
Yep.
And I said, so how's 401k looking? I haven't set that up yet. I'm like, you've been there 2 months. What do you mean you haven't set it up yet? Well, I don't really know what I'm doing. I'm like, all right, you're going to set it up tomorrow because I'm going to ask you tomorrow. And she goes, okay. So first thing I did when I hopped online that morning is I sent her a message in Teams. I said, you need to set up your 403B.
Yeah.
I said 401k, but it's 403B.
Same thing.
Yeah. So she gets a hold of me about noontime and says, all right, how do I do this? So I tell her what to do. And she goes, they have all these options. I said, yeah, you're going to put these percentages in these stocks.
Sure.
Mm-hmm. And she goes, okay. And she set it up that day. I said, I want you to do 10%.
Yep.
Because you're not really used to making this kind of money.
And well, now 2 months in, she might be.
She might be, but she doesn't have to have it.
Correct.
And they're going to give you 3%. So you're going to have 13% put in your retirement every 2 weeks.
Yep.
And that's
going to.
Yeah, that's going to set you up for great things.
Ashley, if you listen to this episode, make sure that when Coach David and I die, you pay for our burials because you'll have the money, right? You'll have the money because of us, right?
Well, mine's going to be $800 because they're just burning my ass.
Yeah, but you got to figure out what are you going to do with your ashes?
I don't give a fuck.
Have you seen the TikTok where the guy takes a stick and pokes it and says, hey, Grandpa, tickle, tickle to the ashes? All right. Anyway, so, no, but I get it. It's $800, but still,
yeah,
you've made $800 because of us. So thanks for paying for that for us.
Well, she's made way more than that, honestly.
Already?
Well, she not even in the 403B, but just getting the job. Yeah. She got a $10 an hour jump.
Yeah, but I didn't do anything with that. Granted, we told her to start finding a better job, but no, it's and again, people need to start looking at their life
because we're looking at that. Do you know what my referral bonus was for that?
$0, 0
Bingo.
Yeah. Gosh, let's talk about that. That's huge, especially in my life. Yeah, referral bonuses, right? So Gentex would be like, hey, if you have somebody, we'll give you $100. And dude, you would just get anybody and everybody. But me, I'm the kind of person I'm not put my name out there for anybody, right? Mm-hmm. But one thing I will tell you is I give referral bonuses to my tenants.
Sure.
Walt gives his referral bonuses to his tenants, right? Hey, just to let you know, I have a unit that's coming available. If you find somebody, I'll give you $50. It's weird how many people, like, all of a sudden you get phone calls. Hey, I hear you have a place coming available. Hey, well, I give you $100 because he had a nicer place than I did.
Yeah.
And he has more money than me because, you know, rich asshole. No, just great guy. But, you know, and just he said he's never listed his place in downtown Grand Rapids, the one I was going to buy.
Yeah.
Just a beautiful 12 units in. You're familiar with downtown Grand
Sure,
Rapids.
absolutely.
So it's right in between St. Mary's and Spectrum.
Okay, yeah.
Right? Like,
Nice area.
This is prime Grand Rapids real estate. Like, he'd give $100, and some of the people, like, they're pre-med stuff. They're all these people that are there are great. But he hasn't listed it in, like, I think he said like 15 to 20 years because that $100 just, and the good thing is like good people know good people, right? So like, hey, if you're a good tenant and you give me a referral, hey, my friend's looking, chances are your friend's just as good as you.
Yep.
Hopefully better.
Yep.
Well, you know, it's one of the things we do here at the business.
Yeah.
You know,
Referrals,
we tell people when they're leaving, hey, tell your friends if they book an appointment because of you, we're going to give you a $5 credit.
That's 100% huge.
Yeah, I was going to say that referrals tend to be some of the best investments you can make, right? I mean, you know, you can go and in my business, it's thought that it typically costs about $100,000 to hire someone in my business, with the, you know, especially if they have to have professional certifications and stuff like that, because all the time spent searching, paying headhunters and stuff like that. You can pay an employee $5 or $10 grand to get a referral, and the cost of that goes down to probably $15,000.
Yeah. Right.
And it's typically going to be a good employee who's, you know, got similar values and looking for similar.
Yep.
You know, especially if it's an employee who, you know, has been around or whatever, fits in well with the company, likes the culture, that's typically what you're going to see, right? So they tend to be very, very good investments for everyone all the way around.
Yep. Have you, so another Gary Vee thing that I've seen, John Taffer, I think, the guy that does the bar rescue, he does this thing of referrals. He goes, all right, so the first time a person comes in, the host is going to ask him, hey, is this your first time joining us? Mm-hmm. If the answer is yes, you're putting a red napkin at their table, because that way the manager comes over and says, hey, this is the first time. Hey, first time joining us. Thanks so much. Hey, I'd like you know, oh, you had the chicken tonight. You got to try our ribs. Our ribs are amazing. Here's a free rib for the next time you guys come in. He said something like 50% of those people will come back, and I'm making up these numbers. He's like 50% are going to come back for the next one. He goes, and then you know what? They're gonna bring that coupon and they're gonna set it, and you're gonna know that they've only been there one time. So the second time, right? What you do is you walk up and go, oh man, what'd you think of those ribs? Weren't they amazing? Yeah. You got to try our cheesecake. Our cheesecake is amazing, right? Hey, tell you what, come back on us. Here's this free cheesecake, right? 20-something% of those are going to come back. And once you have them the third time, he goes, they're going to be almost guaranteed that they're coming back. Sure. He goes, the constant referral of it. He goes, it's worth. He goes, so you're $7 or something is what his total was. $7 into a customer, and you've made yourself thousands.
Sure, and not only that, but because you're doing that to them, they're also gonna the word of mouth.
Tell their friends. Hey, if you go in there and tell them it's your first time, you're gonna get a free rack of ribs, right?
Yep.
Oh yeah, cool. I'll go the second time to get my free rack of ribs, right? Like, my wife and I, when we were, you know, less fortunate. Granted, we ate out all the time because we were stupid, but you know, like we'd go to Fridays. Oh hey, first time, yeah. Bet that like 100 times, right? Yep. Here's a free appetizer. Hell yeah, I'll see you Friday, right? I'm already there, but you know the turnover they went through managers. I could just tell the manager, yeah, it's my first time, and you know we didn't get to know him. But like our waitress is sitting here laughing because we're the same waitress for gosh knows how long, and she's like, "Oh, cool, you guys want to use that right now?" She goes, "See you next week," right? But no, it's really like that. The referral aspect of things is huge, you know. It's one thing that I think people forget about is when you have a good employee, that constant, right? Yep. So I don't know how Gentex does it, like if they actually look at the referral and like who did it and how good of an employee they are, or because you can tell, hey, they're just here for the money, or they're actually a good employee that's going to bring in good people. So when you're just a number, I don't think they care. They just want numbers.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I think again it gets, you know, strategically back to what's the company looking for, right? Are they looking for people who are going to stick around? Are they looking for people who, you know, is it longevity? Is it just they need somebody with a pulse for a short period of time? And you know, they structure that accordingly. I think from perspective of probably most folks in your audience who are, in an employment situation themselves, it's a great way. People will sometimes, I'm not sure I'm not sure if I want to refer my friend because of this or that, or I'm not sure, because I'm not really 100% thrilled with this company. I say just, it can be kind of a numbers game, right? Just go for it.
Sure.
And if it works, it's never gonna. I guess unless you referred 10, complete idiots who came and got their 90-day bonus and left or whatever the case may be. But typically, at least in my experience, companies, if you make a couple bad referrals, they're not going to hold that against you, right?
Well, and anybody that's out there looking to get a referral bonus, and your company has a sign-on bonus, let me know. I will get you a referral bonus. I will work the 90 days. I will get my $2,500, and I will walk. And then you and I can both laugh when I give my I speech. And my I speech is, I just don't see myself coming back here again, right? Like that is who I am. So, I hope somebody reaches out about that, right? Like I really do. I'll even travel for it. Like I'll tell my wife, hey, I got to go for 30, 60, 90 days, and I'll shack up with that person because they if they listen to us, they know us, right? So I'll totally do this for somebody. This is gonna be great.
It's funny. I've referred a lot of people to my company over the years, and Ashley's the first one they ever hired. Yeah. And I've always said I don't have any stroke there because I'm a dick.
It's true.
And I said that to Ashley when she was interviewing. I'm like, listen, I have no stroke here. Everybody thinks I'm a dick. So
yeah, you're getting it on your own. I'm making the introduction.
Right.
Yeah.
And Christy always takes issue with that now. And she tells me all the time, she goes, everybody that thinks you're a dick is either in a different department or retired.
Yeah.
Most of the people here know you're not a dick, and they actually like you. And I'm like, yeah, I'm just not used to that, so I'm just telling everybody I'm a dick.
Right, and that's just exactly it. I mean,
when doing referrals, I always do, no matter what the referral is, I always say, I guarantee the introduction.
Yep.
I'm not going to guarantee the relationship, right?
Yep.
Well, I had a friend.
That's great.
Yeah.
Like, I mean,
that's the word. I use that word. I'm like, I'll guarantee this introduction. I'll make it happen. I'm not guaranteeing that it's going to work out. I'm not, and then I think that helps set expectations appropriately low.
I say,
right? Like you said, you've done so many referrals, and there's been one hire out of it.
Right.
Yeah.
I said, I've done a few, right? But it's normally, I don't say it the same way you do, but I'm just like, look, they told me to have a referral, or hey, I enjoy what I do. Give it a shot. If you want it here, I'll put my name down. If they call me, I'll tell them exactly what I think of you. Yeah, come on in. Hey, we got guests. Hey,
Hey,
Wendy, you want to join us?
Nothing.
Oh, Wendy does not want to join us.
Say,
Well, it's funny because speaking of referrals, I get a message the other day saying, hey, how do you know so-and-so? And I'm like, oh, I coached their kid in softball a couple different times. Why? Well, I saw you hooked up with them on LinkedIn and their company has a job opening, and I was, hoping you could tell me something. Yeah. I'm like, I'll send an email, not a problem. Yeah. He's like, I don't want to put you out. I'm like, no, it's no problem. So I emailed the guy and his wife because they both like me.
Yeah.
And I mentioned it to him, and he's like, you emailed both of them? Yeah, I want to make sure he gets my message.
Yeah.
And, the guy went and interviewed at the company. He said that, great company, really liked him. They're just not quite paying what he's looking for. He goes, and I can't thank you enough for setting that up. I'm like, all I did was send an email that says, hey, this guy's looking.
Again, it's the introduction.
Yeah.
People, you know what? And the problem is right there. Like me, somebody tells me they can't thank me enough. I say, yes, you can. Do you know what a Bud Light tastes like? Right? Like all the time. You know what? Oh man, I'll get you a beer. Like, cool. When you get your job, and I used to do that for people all the time. Hey, that's how I usually do it. Hey man, I can't guarantee you get it, but if you do, just remember, first round's on you.
Exactly.
And they're like, yeah, man, I got you. You know how many times I got paid that? Probably once, maybe, right? Like, this sucker's like, no, man, no.
I'll call him on it, though.
I did it all by myself, but I will every time. I'll be like, hey, man, let's go.
Yep.
No, I'm busy. No, cool. Give me the $5 to go buy my own damn beer, right? Like,
we're sitting in the dugout, and I made some stupid comment in the dugout. Something to the effect of, well, we won't bat around. And Nick goes, I'll take that bet. What are we betting? I'm like, I'll bet dinner.
Yeah.
And 2 days later, Nick sends me a message. He goes, "Hey, let's hit up Sports Center Cafe." And I'm like, "Okay." So I go over there, and he goes, "By the way, you're buying because you owe me dinner because you lost the bet." I'm like, "That's fine." Mind you, took me to a place with cheap food and cheap
$1
drinks.
beer night.
I can win a bet for $100 and forget all about it the next day. If it's food or drink,
Right.
I'm gonna remember.
I say
sure.
all day I'm gonna do it.
Yep.
Just say
Yep.
no. It's say anything new in life. So you have a new job. How old is the job?
A few weeks now.
A few weeks.
Yep.
You're loving it.
Yeah.
That's
It's
awesome.
a great firm.
Say,
So I've been doing the same thing for almost 25 years now. It's really, again, getting back to what we were talking about earlier. It's really about culture and being a good fit and making and having a firm that's collaborative.
Yeah.
So
David, getting healthier.
I'm getting healthier. I'm feeling pretty good. I had my wrist surgery.
Yeah.
So that's, I mean, it's not 100%, but it's feeling better.
So you're not crying right now?
I'm not crying right now like I was at your house.
Yeah. I think I'm gonna swim this weekend. It's supposed to be 80.
Yeah.
The pool's not closed?
Not yet.
Oh.
I was gonna close it tonight, and then we had this, and my buddy told me it was supposed to be 80 all weekend, and I was like, all right, I might do it Sunday.
You might see me a little bit then.
Yeah. It's
supposed to be starting tomorrow through Sunday or Monday.
Yeah. We were kind of off the air again, so
I hope we get back to a regular schedule here.
David always is busy on Tuesdays now, and that's my free day usually.
Next Tuesday's the last day I'm busy.
Yeah, so we'll try to get back to Tuesdays. And
I can probably still do something next Tuesday.
Yeah, and then I ended up getting into a car crash.
Yep.
Totaled an entire car.
What car was it?
It was my company's 2018 Toyota Camry with not even 50,000 miles on it.
Oh.
Yeah, so I got that going for me. I had my city inspections, which we all know I freak out a little bit about because I want to make sure I nail these things.
Yep.
Because reputation to me is key, right? Like if you,
all you have in my business.
It's funny, so walk in and guy goes to the first department, which I always show my best one, right? Because it's top left or whatever. Right. He's like, "That's a really nice apartment," and I was like, "Don't worry, they get better from here," right? He's like, "I know," and walks through and smoke detectors work and gets to the third one and he's like, "Did you walk through these before I come here?" I go, "What do you think, I am stupid?" He's like, "Gosh, I wish so many other people would do this." And I was like, "Yeah, but they don't value their money, right? And they don't care." I was like, "It cost me $200 for them to go through each unit, right?" So think about the amount of money he made on me. Okay, so I just did it on one of my 8 units, right? Okay.
So he made $1,600.
$1,600. Started at 9. We were done by 9:25. He made $3,200 an hour.
That's a great job. How do I get that?
Do you know how much it cost me? I now have a door to do. I have something else to do. Plus, I spent $100-something to get ready for it. Like, this dude made $3,200 an hour.
How do we get that job?
You have to have we'll talk about that later because I want one.
Yeah, no kidding.
But no, I think he only makes like $20 an hour, right? But the city,
yeah,
mind you, I bitch about it, right? I paid $10,000 a year in taxes on that property. $9,988.66. You didn't pay $10,000. You're right, I didn't. Okay, I was $11 off. F you. And then I just paid you $3,200 or so $1,600.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if they come back, so one smoke detector fails. I have open wire. Something to make me fail, right? That would cost me another $125 per unit that they have to come back to.
Wow.
Right? So every time they have to come back too. I get 2 years.
Okay.
But so that's the thing. So on my duplexes, right? So I can get 4 years. I can get 4 years max. Mm-hmm. Oh, I get 4 years, right?
Yep.
When we did my duplex, I had to fix a globe outside, which was $2.50 from Menards. The screws were there, but that's $1 a pack. And I had an outlet that the neutral came off a little bit. It was a little loose, so I tightened it up because that wasn't a big deal. But my whole thing cost me $5, right? So to fix the entire place, and that 4 years, right? So I don't have to spend $400 every 2 years. Right. I now get to spend $400 every 4 years, and that's worth. I mean,
$405.
Yeah, right, and it's worth it to me to go in, make sure everything's good, and I don't want to say it on air type thing of like some of the things that I can get away with because my credibility of what it is. Like, so I had fire extinguishers, which should be a little bit of a thing, but he's like, hey, these didn't get inspected. And it really did slip my mind. It cost me $8. And he has the choice and if he's coming back for it or not. He's like, just send me photos. Because I told him, I said, look, I'm going to head right down there right now. And he knows when I say that.
Because you've established a reputation.
I'm literally, and I'm grabbing them while he's there. And I drive and he gets an email before he probably leaves my parking lot because he's writing his notes. And he's like, you didn't have to send it right away. Oh, I know, but I did, right? Yeah. And he understands I respect him, and he respects me right back, right? And so to me, that is worth every little bit of money. So we will try to get this back to every week on
regularly scheduled program.
Yeah, so you might have to move your antenna a little bit to get us come in. All the young kids watching have no idea what I'm talking about. Say
add some aluminum foil to the rabbit ears.
Yes.
Hire your buddy that's drunk enough to stand there, right? I get it. I've been there. I've been that buddy. No, guys, I hope we gave enough knowledge. If you guys have any more questions about this, why it's a bad idea to just go for a sign-on bonus, unless you're me, who's literally just doing it to screw the system, give us a call. Give us a text, a Facebook message, anything like that. If you have other topics that you want to know about, especially during these, there really are, I wouldn't say trying times, but like these are tough times.
Unprecedented for people who are alive today, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
Reach out to us. So like always, like, subscribe, share. I want to give a huge shout out to my, you guys heard it, clinking bottles of Bud Lite out there. David.
I'm shouting out to Arizona for the Arnold Palmer and green tea.
Dude, you guys, are those old? Because they're only 99 cents. I thought they went up to like $1.09. But
no, I got them at Walgreens on the way here. I asked Jim. I said, Jim, what type of tea do you want? He goes, I drink any tea.
I did. I drink that tea.
Oolong tea. That's the tea I'm gonna drink.
I like that too.
You know what kind of tea I drink? None.
I used to drink the hell out of the Sobe teas. Loved them.
Can't even do it. So, guys, thanks so much. I really hope you learned a little bit. And if not, that's your own problem. Go listen again.
Thanks for having me again, gentlemen.
Yeah, of course.
Always
thanks for
good
joining
to see you, Jim.
Glad your wife showed up.